As you can see, the topic America the Beautiful is the name of a book written by Ben Carson, Dr. Ben Carson, the top neurosurgeon in the world. Subtitle, Rediscovering What Made This Nation Great. With so many of our youth in trouble, blacks should have been among the first to protest the removal of prayer from the schools, and should have vigorously opposed the distribution of condoms to further instigate sex among children. Instead, black elites were among the earliest and easiest co-opted by liberal educators. It is in no one's interest for blacks ever to leave the sinkhole of poverty or to form a robust, healthy business class. It's obviously not in the interest of those who are part of the immense social service industry, the endless stream of social workers, counselors, and growing number of experts. It's not in the interest of civil rights organizations whose administrators earn their bread off the needy masses. Nor is it in the interest of the black middle class whose members hold up the door to demand ever more special privileges for themselves. The end of a black underclass will not be in the interest of academics, for whom the distressed poor provide fodder for their ever so clever theses, monographs, doctorates, journal articles, books, and inventive kinky courses. A strong black business class certainly is not in the interest of politicians, black or white. The black politician, especially, is dismayed by the prospect of a strongly developed class of entrepreneurs as potential usurpers of his power and authority. All it would take to begin the reverse of our community's decline are a few good men determined first to stand up to the preachers, politicians, and civil rights demagogues. All the bullies who are kept in place primarily through the white liberals' propaganda machine. Men ready to galvanize blacks to begin operating in our own best interest. Men who are ready to help return us to that time in our history when economics was at the top of the agenda and it was considered imperative to learn and master the workings of the marketplace. At the heart of Booker T. Washington's vision was an ever-increasing proportion of well-trained men and women prepared to create their own economic niches, where they would play a necessary role in the country's economic growth. Black men could lead in pressing for the kinds of rights as Americans deserve, like the right for every parent to choose his or her children's schools and the right to be free of government regulations that restrict access to the marketplace by those on the bottom rungs of the economic ladder. A few good men could rupture the dominance of a leadership of elites dedicated to their own preservation. The undermining of this leadership would strip white liberals and radicals of their base of operation among blacks. In spite of the many charlatans who proliferate in the church, men who are genuinely committed to the Christian gospel and believe in its power to transform need not feel affronted by candid admonishments and criticism. The time has come, however, for blacks to reflect on the many people who have entered the church trade for all the wrong reasons and, unfortunately, wield a disproportionate amount of power. Booker T. Washington was not the first to acknowledge the link between economic and spiritual. He repeatedly emphasized how closely the moral and spiritual interests are interwoven with the group's material and economic welfare. Strengthening our resolve to ground our families in traditional moral principles will better prepare us to compete on all fronts, including the economic one.